What's up guys, not Super Mario here and welcome to today's video. It's a big one. Or at least I am gonna rank every single Marvel movie. 35 of them, with the inclusion of Captain America: The Brave New World that just dropped like last week. This is a big endeavor. This is my personal ranking of 35 movies. After more than 15 years of movies, we are here with 35 movies and I'm gonna rank them. Of course, this is my personal opinion, so I would really like to see your rankings in the comments down below. Hopefully I'm not gonna upset anybody, but with some of the rankings and some of my decisions where I put some of the movies, you're certainly not agree with me, but nevertheless, hopefully you're gonna enjoy this type of video. If you do, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, share this video all over the place, click the bell icon to get notified when I upload. And now, let's begin. We start at the bottom, and it is Thor: Love and Thunder. I recently decided to rewatch this movie and I couldn't get through it. I cannot understand how you fumble this movie so freaking much. I mean, it had everything that was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Taika Waititi coming back. Of course, the bunch of Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman coming back as Lady Thor. You've got Gore the God Butcher, played by one and only Christian Bale. And this movie was so unwatchable. I couldn't rewatch it. When I saw it the first time, I found it unfunny, uninteresting, cringeworthy. I don't like this movie at all. Going from one Thor movie to the next one. At 34 is Thor: The Dark World. When you say the movie is boring, that's something that doesn't seem right. I think the whole movie is boring, the plot is boring, the villain is generic as hell, boring. I mean, it's been a really long time since I've seen it, but honestly, I think it got a little bit better because of the endgame stuff, but the movie as a whole, not for me. Number 33 is Iron Man 2. It is really weird how the same team made the first Iron Man and then decided to make the second one, and it got really bad. Michael Rourke as the villain of Whiplash wasn't my cup of tea, and I think nobody's tea. The saving grace of this movie, I think, is the best Iron Man suit up scene in the cinematic universe. It's so freaking good. At number 32, we've got The Marvels. There are two things that you can say yay about this movie. Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan, I think, is wonderful. I think she is an incredible addition to the MCU. And I think the three leads and the chemistry between those three is really, really good. And I would like to see more of that. Everything else is quite underwhelming. The villain is probably the most forgettable villain in the whole MCU, even more forgettable than the Thor: Dark World villain. Post-credit scene, yes, it shows us something interesting, but it's gonna get paid off? Who knows? The Incredible Hulk is the next movie, and I have to say it's been a while since I've seen that movie, and even at the time, I was like, I don't know if I particularly like this movie or dislike this movie. So because of my lack of emotion for that movie, it gets the 31st spot. I mean, I kinda dig it more now because of Captain America: Brave New World, because that movie is kind of a sequel to this movie, but overall, pretty lackluster movie. Moving on to spot number 30, and it's a movie that I have a lot of emotions about. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. They should never make a spectacle Ant-Man movie. I don't know why they decided to make it like that, because the first two I really dig. I think they are really good. This movie doesn't work. There were things that made me go, fuck yes! And then it ends with a fight between Kang the Conqueror and ants. And you know who wins? Ants. And yes, there's MODOK, but let's forget about that. Moving on to 29th spot, and it goes to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. After coming out of the theater, I was actually really confused because I've seen this movie, let's say, I don't really remember, but let's say 2 weeks after the actual release, and people were crazy about it. And I was like, I'm really confused, and I still am, because I don't think this movie is particularly good. I think the plot is pretty thin, the humor doesn't land for me, and I just don't care for it. Now, I would say that from now on, from 28th spot moving forward, I think that the movies are okay or better. The movies that we were talking about right now, I am not particularly fond of. I don't think they are really rewatchable or my cup of tea. So let's go with the first that I think it's okay or better. 28th spot goes to Thor. I honestly believe this movie has one of the most interesting styles in the MCU. It feels really different. I think Chris Hemsworth is great as Thor and is really good as being this godly. Then human in the second half and then going back to the Thor-like figure. And I love that. I don't know who decided to bleach his eyebrows in this movie because he looks ridiculous with that. And Loki, of course, is just amazing. Changed the way we look at the villains. He was an amazing villain and he still is an amazing character. I mean, we have Loki since Thor, and the last time we saw him was in Loki season 2 that came out last year. So yeah, it's a character that's stuck around for a really long time. Number 27 goes to Captain Marvel. Yes, it made over $1 billion. Yes, it's not that bad as a lot of people think so. I get it. It's really hard to connect with Captain Marvel as a character because she's kind of one-dimensional and the movie is kind of bland if you look at it, but I had fun. 26th spot goes to Black Widow. This movie suffers that it came too late. Why they've decided to make a movie about a character, about a beloved character, after the character dies in the main franchise? I mean, why would you do that? I don't know. I mean, overall the movie, I would say, is a solid action movie. Natasha is great. The addition of her family, Yelena, Red Guardian, and Rachel Weisz as the mom, I think was really good. But the way they made the movie and when they made the movie, it feels really forced and unnecessary. But there are some fun stuff and it's a solid action movie. So it's kind of in an area of yay, but why? We are now at number 25 and it goes to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. First thing that we have to say is that the title is wrong. This was much more a few seconds of Multiverse of Madness. What makes this movie great in some parts is Wanda. I think her character is great, even though doesn't really follows the events of her previous appearance in WandaVision, but what she got, like Elizabeth Olsen as an actress, from the script, I think she does really well. Everything else, I think, was just big fan service, and the way you don't do fan service, I think Sam Raimi did a great job directing. His style was really implemented in the movie, so I like that. But overall, it fell short. It wasn't madness, it wasn't multiverse, but it had Wanda. So that's good. Number 24, I've got Iron Man 3. I honestly believe this is the only movie in the MCU I've seen only once. So from what I remember, I had a lot of fun. We've got two villains, both not so good. First one is a fake Mandarin. Nobody wanted that. And we've got Killian Aldrich being the revenge little petty bastard. That's pretty much it. But everything else, I like the way they implemented PTSD, how Iron Man as a character, Tony Stark as a character, is struggling with identity, who he is, what he's doing. I love that. And I also love the third act. I mean, the whole Iron Man suit army was awesome. Moving on to Ant-Man and the Wasp, getting the 23rd spot. Not as good as the first one in my opinion, but it was a really cute little nice heist movie. I mean, you get some big things getting small, some small things getting big. It's just fun. Yes, Ghost is an underwhelming villain, I know that, everybody knows that, but it came out like immediately after Infinity War, which was a big, impactful, tough movie to go through, especially with all the characters dying pretty much. But it was nice change of pace. So for that reason, I really like this movie. Now we are here with the 22nd movie on my list, Captain America Brave New World, the newest movie in the MCU. I don't get it. I don't get the hate behind this movie. Yes, I do agree. Some scenes feel like they were reshoot. You can feel the movie was reshot multiple times. There are some characters that don't have anything to do. But if you look at overall, I think it's a solid action movie. I think I love the grounded way of presenting the story. I like Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I love Red Hulk. I love all the other additions. I like this movie. Number 21 is Avengers Age of Ultron. The more I watch this movie, the more I like it. Yes, I do agree, bigger is not always better, but I think Ultron as a villain is great. I think he does what he is supposed to do. And we got Wanda. Yes, we also got Quicksilver, but he got kaput. But we got Wanda. At number 20, I've got probably one of the most underrated MCU movies, and that is Ant-Man. Easily most underrated movie of MCU. Paul Rudd as Ant-Man is great. The movie is funny, quippy, action-packed. Really heartwarming with all the family stuff. Go Paul Rudd, I love this movie. Number 19 goes to Captain America First Avenger. A great origin story for a character that I didn't know a lot about, and now I absolutely adore it. Chris Evans embodies Captain America in a stellar way, and I especially love the Bucky Captain America relationship. I think what they did with that was awesome, and it shows us what a true friendship is. Moving on to number 18 goes to Black Panther Wakanda Forever. This movie went through hell. From tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman, then COVID. I mean, this movie changed a lot drastically, but Ryan Coogler with the cast and crew was able to make a really good movie that successfully honors Chadwick Boseman and passes the torch. Number 17, from one Black Panther movie to the next one. There's a lot that works in this movie, in my opinion. Chadwick embodies Black Panther. The world of Wakanda is really well realized, is big, is vast, is different than anything we've seen in the MCU. Michael B. Jordan as Killmonger is awesome, awesome, awesome. I do feel that movie at the end feels rushed and does not give me the satisfaction, but it's still a good movie. Number 16, Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. The movie is very rewatchable, and I will be honest, the first time I saw it, I was like, yeah, it's okay. But the more I watch it, the more I love it. I think it has probably the best action scenes in the MCU. I think the relationship between Shang-Chi and his dad is exceptionally realized. I love the ending where all the big dragons and bonanza happened. It was awesome. The dragons were cool, but what we've got from the relationship and the Mandarin was the things that made this movie really, really good. Number 15 is probably the most hated movie in the MCU, but to me, Eternals is an amazing movie. I don't get the hate behind it. Chloe Zhao, with the team and the cast she assembled, made her movie. The characters are great, the world is great, the depiction of a speedster in this movie is probably the best way we've seen a speedster in any movie. I hope we get more of the Eternals, not just the giant hand sticking out of the earth that we've got in Captain America Brave New World. I hope that we are getting a sequel someday, because it's so good. I don't get why people hate Eternals. Number 14 is the first Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming. Where do I begin? Tom Holland as Spider-Man is perfect. The Vulture is a probably top 5 villain in the MCU. The way Michael Keaton plays him, and the twist in the middle that I didn't expect, and I think not a lot of people has expected, was absolutely awesome. Spider-Man is just so good. Me like a lot this movie. Number 13 is a movie that probably cemented MCU the way it is now. The Avengers, the first Avengers movie. I remember watching The Avengers in the theater like it was yesterday. I mean, it's been a while, like when it came out in 2012, something like that, maybe a bit later, and it works on every single level. The movie and the story is pretty simple. It's pure epicness. Loki as a villain is great, and the New York third act is epicness. We are back with Spider-Man. Spider-Man Far From Home is number 12, and I like this more than Homecoming, to be completely honest. Probably because there's Jake Gyllenhaal. I love Jake Gyllenhaal, and it also made Endgame even more impactful to see Spider-Man mourning the loss of his mentor. It's so good. I freaking love this movie. This is a definition of a popcorn movie. You go, you watch it, you are having so much fun, you see Jake Gyllenhaal, and you're happy. Number 11, Captain America Civil War. Yes, I know probably majority of people have it higher, but I have 2 things to say for this movie, and it is airport scene and Baron Zemo is a great villain. Quote me on that. Now we are here. My top 10 Marvel movies, and we start with number 10, of course, Iron Man, the movie that started everything. Nobody expected, like in 2025, now we have 35 Marvel movies and we're getting so much more. When the movie dropped, nobody expected that we're gonna have the MCU that we have now. But with Robert Downey Jr. as perfect as casting as it goes, I don't know if that's even possible to be there is a better casting than Robert Downey Jr. is as Tony Stark. Nobody thought we're gonna get as many movies, but this is the movie that is the reason we've got what we've got. Number 9, I've got Doctor Strange. In my opinion, probably the most unique looking movie in the MCU. Benedict Cumberbatch is absolutely incredible, and the world of Doctor Strange, in my opinion, looks awesome. It's flawlessly realized. I love the ending of this movie because it's not a generic ending to any other superhero movie. It decides to do it in a smart way, and I absolutely love it. The only thing that I would be happier about if they would use Mads Mikkelsen in a better way. Because if you've got Mads Mikkelsen, don't make it so disposable as it is in this movie. Number 8, I've got Thor Ragnarok. And this is how you make a Thor movie. This is where Taika Waititi was like, yes, I'm here. I'm gonna do something with this character that nobody else is trying or has the guts to do and make it awesome. I mean, after the first Thor and the second Thor, Thor was like a character that nobody really liked because he was kind of... But Taika made him amazing. Chris Hemsworth in this movie is awesome. Everybody else in this movie is awesome. And you can see how joyful they are making this movie. Number 7, Deadpool and Wolverine. Yes, I fucking love this movie from start to finish. Yes, I know the plot is thin and mostly non-existent, but I don't care. This was an R-rated bonanza from start to finish, and I loved it. This is how you make fan service to the max, and it works. From fan service movie to another fan service movie, but again, it works. Spider-Man No Way Home gets the 6th spot because it's awesome. Seeing all the Spider-Man in one movie was mind-blowing. It really was mind-blowing. And seeing all the legacy villains coming back in the same... Oof! I mean, the experience in the theater was mind-blowing. I love it. I cried. I laughed. I got chills. I had everything. I had the best time of my life watching this movie. Top 5 is here, and the 5th spot goes to Guardians of the Galaxy. Nobody heard about Guardians of the Galaxy before this movie has dropped. I mean, not even die-hard comic book fans were like, who, a talking tree and a raccoon? How is this gonna work? Well, James Gunn found a way to put a bunch of misfits that nobody knows about and make an incredible movie. Yes, it's action-packed. Yes, it's big and vast and funny and all those things. But what makes this movie work is those 5 characters that create a family that everybody loves. The dynamics, the hate and love relationship, all those things. Awesome stuff. Yes, the villain. We don't care about the villain in this movie. We love the movie. But if you thought that Guardians of the Galaxy is the best Guardians of the Galaxy movie, it's not. Rocket Raccoon is probably the most tragic MCU character created. I can't believe how much I cried during this movie. And you made bunch of weird looking animals. And they were so cute and so tragic. Everybody died. I cried so much. James Gunn ended the trilogy in the best possible way. Even if we never get more of these characters, I am happy that this trilogy exists. Even though I'm not a fan of the second one. But this movie gave us an amazing conclusion. Number 3, Avengers Endgame. Easily the best experience in the movie theater I ever had. This was like being on a football stadium filled with hundreds of thousands of fans and just cheering all the time. I cannot explain how an amazing of an experience this movie was watching it with other fans. I mean, I've seen this movie like in the theaters 5 times, and the first day I saw it twice. This is how much I love this movie. Russos did something that nobody expected that it's gonna work. They balanced so many characters in a movie that was a big conclusion to a Infinity Saga that was like 23 movies long. And they did it. They did it in a satisfactory way. Number 2, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Yes, Russos ended the saga, but the way they entered the saga was incredible. Is even more impressive. Captain America, Winter Soldier, in my opinion, is one of the best superhero movies ever. And not just that, it's also one of the best movies, period. The movie, I would say, is sexy. And you know what I mean. It's so fucking good. And we got to the end. This is my favorite movie in the MCU. Number 1 is Avengers Infinity War. I think it's perfect. Nothing else to add. I absolutely adore this movie. I think I've seen it now probably 50 times or maybe even more. In the theaters, I've seen it 7 times. I love it. I love that it's a villain story. I love that Thanos was scary but also Like, you can understand why he's doing what he's doing. I know it's not right, but you can like, you wonder, maybe he is right, but he's not. And that's the awesome part. And he's formidable. He's intimidating. I mean, and the snap at the end. Oh my freaking gosh. Yes, I knew that the characters are gonna come back, but the impact was still freaking there. I love this movie. Whew, that was a lot. 35 movies ranked, and hopefully you enjoyed it. If you're still here watching this video, thank you. Let me know in the comments down below your rankings. Rank all of them. Tell me what's your favorite, why is it your favorite. Tell me everything in the comments down below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, hit the subscribe button, share this video all over the place, click the bell icon to get notified when I upload, because if you don't, you're not gonna see my videos. And I see you next time.